that they are having is just to gain information on,
Could be.
you know.
It could be. I think there's so much uncertainty in the marketplace or out there in the world. When these AI capabilities, algorithms, when they get into the wild, anybody can use them. So I think they want more influence on how to constrain some of the technology before it's deployed. Whether or not that's even possible is another question. So what do you all think about that? Since we officially started, we're official. Do you have any thoughts about, that's kind of what we're going to do. This whole lesson today is kind of going to pick up from the clips we saw, think about where we are with AI and what were the filmmakers trying to tell us. I'm a big movie fan. I'll tell you that. I love, especially science fiction, because I love the idea of people using their imagination to try to talk about important issues. So, going back to the movie clips we watched, right? Was there a common theme?
That AI is taking over?
Yeah. Right? Bad things are gonna happen. Right? That they are. Anything else?
We all know that powerful in some cases. Of course, it comes in different forms, not just being like a human person, but like an actual device. Like
Yeah.
this new movie that's out called Afraid. I haven't seen it yet, but I do want to see it.
What's it called?
Afraid.
Afraid?
And then the A and I, afraid is like in red.
Oh, wow. So, but it's AI?
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well, when we see it, I gotta go see it too now, so. So just for fun, I know this is off the subject, just for fun, I went to see Beetlejuice.
Oh, I saw half of it.
That was hilarious.
I just saw half of it and I walked out.
Oh, no.
I walked out and then I told everybody that y'all bought a ticket here, y'all are wasting money.
Oh, no,
So I
no.
I told them.
I had fun, it was fun.
It was funny.
And okay, so themes are AI can be potentially dangerous, or maybe even catastrophic, right? That, would you say that they depict AI getting out of our control?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think all of them, yeah.
Right. Any of you all see Ex Machina?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay, that's one, I think that plays, did you see that? Okay, then I won't talk about it. Watch it tonight and we'll talk about it next time. But in a lot of those, well, Terminator is that we create, Skynet, we created all these, it's kind of interesting because we're creating botnets and androids, and we want to link them all to AI for command and control. We're still going to have people in the loop. So the military calls this multi-domain, right? And they want AI in there to communicate with all that stuff. And then obviously in Terminator, the machines decide they don't need us anymore, right? So they take over, and then we're fighting against the machines. Right? So, so I think any other common threads? So. Besides machines taking over or being dangerous and trying to kill people.
I think that they've made all the robots in like our image. Like in our image. So they're making it like a box or a circle or something
Right.
else. They make it like a
They look like androids or humanoid.
human, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that might be like a psychological.
Well, we want them to look like us.
But no, I'm saying that that might be also a psychological reason of why we find threat, why we find them as a threat.
Okay.
Because they look like us. If we would have made something look like a dog or an animal, maybe we wouldn't be so much a threat.
Like inferior to us.
Yeah, we
Right.
wouldn't feel like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think?
In all these movies, they're, like, the AI is already integrated within society.
Right.
They already live with it, they're used to it.
Right, yeah, like we saw that robot, the robot's walking the dogs, and it's in the house, it's cooking and chopping up vegetables. I mean, it's like servants, right, they're around us. So everybody's gotten kind of used to them. And then one of them goes crazy, right? So it's like, and we didn't think that, I mean, in the movie, they didn't think it was possible. Because those robots were subject to the 3 laws.
Uh-huh.
And how did one violate the 3 laws? It's in its core program.
They killed somebody,
Right.
Yeah.
But it turns out that there's a bigger story about how that person killed and why, what the robot was doing. So, going to the next question, what advances in technology are depicted in these movies?
Self-awareness.
The robots are self-aware, they're sentient.
And that they
In
become
Blade
destructive.
Runner, they had flying cars and everything, right?
And then I think there's also a destructiveness to it.
Yeah. So, again, these are depicted in those movies, the clips. Anybody? I didn't have a clip of the movie Elysium. That was the one with Matt Damon and Jodie Foster, where the rich people lived on this, all the wealthy people lived on a giant space station-like city, and the poor people lived on the planet and were involved in mining and doing things to support the rich people up there.
I haven't heard of that one either.
Yeah, that was another one that they completely separated out of society.
I think on a different level probably, but like the advancement in technology is that when you don't understand the technology, it can be a vulnerability to you, or it could be a threat to you in society.
Yeah.
Not understanding how it works. Or even like a Frankenstein, you make something you don't even know what it's capable of. You're just making
Yeah,
it.
you think you might know.
Yeah. Oh, this
But
ain't
then-
gonna do nothing.
And then new conditions arise and it behaves in a way that you didn't anticipate.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're struggling to regain control.
Yeah.
So, in Blade Runner, they said, that Los Angeles was like 100 million people. And everybody, and it was always dark, kind of, it's very urban and everything was crowded together, compressed society. And then the residents lived off-world. They were like miners and support. So that was kind of interesting in that. And of course, his job was to kill him and to escape. So how do we cope with this technological future? What do they do in the very
They killed it.
Well, they did, but at some point, we've learned to live with them, right? In iRobot, people had their robot servants, right? In AI, the little kid was created to replace a child that had died because the mother was in grief. So, and they showed, you know, they got these nice cars, these were fairly wealthy people. I don't know if any of you've seen the movie. Have you seen the movie? Artificial Beautiful, you saw it? Yeah. So there is another, people are poor, the robots are being exploited and all that. And that comes up later. And then you find out that beings are the evil ones exploiting the machines and torturing them and doing all kinds of stuff. So, but that's not the rich people. That's in the poor part of the society, which I thought was kind of interesting to show that. So we're struggling to live with this new technology as it's emerging. And, you know, so the law doesn't seem to apply to the robots and the technology. You can do anything you want to. We get upset when they do something to us. But I didn't see any of those where the robots had rights. Even animals have rights. We have the SPCA, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can go to jail if you mistreat an animal. But in none of these movies did the robots have rights.
I think because animals are living beings.
Right, but I mean,
This
still,
is not a living being.
if they're sentient,
That's still,
and they're
it's not,
self-aware.
but it's not a living being though.
You could also
computer.
argue that it's someone else's property. Like, let's say
You
I
could
have
say
a
that.
robot, and
Right.
like you
Yeah, it's
go
property.
walk at my robot, I'm like, hey, my
That's,
property.
that's true, yeah, damage of property.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like
That's fine.
slavery again.
Yeah.
We're back to slavery. We can't seem to go. So, no, but I mean, these are important questions, right?
Yeah.
In society,
Yeah.
that we have to answer. And then there's a whole question, I'm gonna send you guys something. And then the question's gonna be, is this an evidence of sentience? That's gonna be. Okay, so I think that segues down. So we've integrated these robots in society, robots and AI and Internet of Things and all this stuff, right? So all this new intelligence that's integrated in our society. We're living with this stuff. We've normalized it, but then when something goes bad, which in all these movies, there's something that goes bad.
Mm.
How do we respond? What would you all think? How do we respond?
Killed it.
We try to kill it, right? We try to destroy it. We fear.
Disable the, I guess the chickens, right?
Yeah. Disable it, kill it,
I think that
suppress
then,
it.
I think that that's when they really like, they appreciate the humanity at that time. I think that when robots are gonna act or whatever, that's when all humans are gonna come together. And then they're gonna realize the actual value of humanity over the technology. So they might go back, as right now they're trying to go forward and put technology as number one. Reality hits the fan, then you're gonna be, oh yeah, no, we want the humans back. Happening, I mean, look at Walmart, they took out all their stuff and then, oh no, let's put it all back again.
What, I don't know. I don't shop at Walmart.
Yeah, you know, like they gutted out all of the regular registers
Okay.
and put like just like a line of all those little fake registers. But they ended up taking them back out and put regular registers
Oh,
again.
so you mean the self-serve registers? That you
Yeah,
have?
yeah,
Okay, then back with humans?
correct, yeah.
Then it goes to the next.
Right, one thing I noticed that is, even though we get rid of a certain type of AI, we always end up using a different form of AI, and like we end up destroying it out or destroying it. So it's always coming back to AI.
Okay.
No matter if we use it. That's
So,
what I
so, yeah. We fear this technology, we sometimes it gets out of control, but then we have to find a way to get, because we need it, right? You think it's because we need it? Got it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. human relationships due to the technology have changed? If so, what has changed? So in these clips, how have people changed due to the technology?
They depend on
They depend on it. It's an interesting thing in iRobot is that the Will Smith hated robots, but he was boring. Everybody thought he was a little paranoid and weird because they got used to robots. They felt robots were a benefit. And I think it was his aunt or his grandmother or something, the old lady in the house. And the robot was, making the food and all that, and he was worried about it. So, what do you let it? Because it was cutting some vegetables. He's like, you let it have a knife. What are you doing? So, we will start having relationships. Now, I didn't put her in there. Some of these others where, her the guy falls in love with this chatbot, right? But that's Joaquin Phoenix. He's all. Any weird movie, if you want to cast a weird movie, you cast Joaquin Phoenix, right? He plays the Joker. I mean, he always plays a weird character. And I'm sure it's messing with his head too. Too often without kind of some residual, right? I'd like to see.
It'd be funny if he had multiple bots.
Really, yeah, multiple bots. Oh my God. So we learned to relate to the technology. So you had like in Blade Runner, the Harrison Ford character, job is to go kill him. And they look just like people. But he has no problem with killing, right? He doesn't, but you know how the story ends, right? You all see Blade Runner?
I think so.
Yeah, you know how the story ends. So the Sean Young character, the woman at Terrell's office, she's actually a replica. But she's a special replica, designed specially for that, and she doesn't know she's a replica, right? So he ends up falling in love with her, and they take off together, right? But she ends up getting killed. But what you don't see until you watch Blade Runner 2049, the next sequel, what you don't know from the first movie, I hope I'm doing this for anybody, is that the child together.
What?
Yes. And the child has some genetic problems, so it has to live in a bubble because it has no immune system. And he doesn't find out Harold takes off and he lives in, by then Vegas has been completely a ghost town. Right? Because of global and all that stuff became the water. So he lives there, and the detective is trying to find him to find out, what's going on with some of these replicants and things like that. He finds him, and then he lets him know, hey, wait a minute, I think this is your daughter, and he helps him. So the relationship is, right, these things become so annoying, and there's this sort of anthropomorphic connection between, you just look at Star Wars, R2-D2 and C-3PO, they become companions to Luke Skywalker, right? So are the filmmakers signaling to us that there's going to be an evolution in our relationship with these things? That we should expect to develop even emotional relationships? Because if they, like you were saying, if they look humanoid, they look like two things happen. You have fear, but you also have love. Like on the continuum. You have on the emotional continuum. We may fear them and want to kill them, but we may depend on them, and does that dependency maybe means that crossing line into actually loving them? And love can take many. Brotherly love can be like a love of a parent to a child, like in the Spielberg movie, was a mother, child, right? The child was created to replace the child. So, and the child was programmed to love her back. There was a bonding program that came in the instructions. How to get the child to bond with you, you had to go through these steps. And if you did it, then it bonds only with that person. Right? So that was actually programmed in. So we programmed that in. So human relationships, in most of these movies, they depict that these robots, these AIs, the androids, will integrate into our society, and in so doing, we will develop emotions, either one way or the other, love, hate, connection, dependency.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll have relationships. And we do that with machines already. Right? We do that with machines all the time. Cars and motorcycles and airplanes. I mean, people develop relationships and develop. Huh?
What's your relationship to your car, Aaron?
Oh, my car's nothing, but when I used to race motorcycles,
You love the motorcycle?
I didn't love the motorcycle, but there was a, no, love is not. But there was a respect.
There's
Because
some sort of sentiment.
there's some sort of, it was my
Sentimental value,
motorcycle.
Yeah.
okay.
Like you talk about ownership. It was mine.
Yeah, that's
I was
different.
kind of proud of it because I fixed it up and I'd race other guys with their motorcycles. And I wanted me and my motorcycle to beat them and their motorcycle. Right?
So it's
there was a
basically your
pride
memories.
there. Yeah, there was
Memory.
a competitive aspect to the relationship. And so you hear that with pilots talking about their airplanes, especially if they're high performance, like fighter pilots, will tell you they have a relationship with their airplane. But it's kind of the same, like race car drivers. Anybody that, I mean, you understand it's an inanimate object, but it helps you achieve a goal. It's a tool. But it's a tool you get inside. It's different than something like when it was a motorcycle. I'm on it, right? I'm on it. So our destiny was combined. Right? And if we parted company, bad things happen.
Yeah.
Break something, So it's a different kind of ship. And in the Navy, they always call the ships she.
Yeah, they're usually all women names, yeah.
So in the Navy, there's this real strong attachment, because my uncle was in the Navy for 32 years. There's a real strong attachment to your ship.
Yeah.
And so you said they would feel this. And he said it was hard to explain, but you in your ship, right? You want you and your ship to beat the other guys in their ship, right? So it's a relationship that comes together. I don't know if anybody, those of you who are attending remotely, have you ever sort of connection with machinery or something? What to talk about?
None that I can think of.
Because, obviously I don't feel that way about it. I have no connection with computers. Any computer's interchangeable as long as I can get my data and my internet. Right? So I don't have a connection with my computer at all, really. It's not anything I care about. Because I can still get the things that are important to me, my data and all that, from another computer. I can access my stuff that I keep, right?
Well, you could do
It's
that with
just
a
a box.
you could do that with a motorcycle too.
No, because you have to customize. You have to set it up for
Computer's customized for myself.
Okay, yeah,
because,
okay. But you could always take and image it onto another drive.
you could always do it to another motorcycle too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it takes a long time to.
It takes a long time to customize
No,
it.
it-
Yeah.
I can run.
You don't know what I have on
No,
here.
no, I can make an image on that in about an hour.
So then time is what
That
is changing
hour-
for you.
That hour, that image, if I then take that image, their system in it, and plug it into another computer, everything you see on your interface will be, everything.
Okay, so then time is what matters. So,
Not really. No, it's not just time. It's not just time. Because there's a feedback loop that, we really don't.
so,
Feedback loop meaning.
Yeah.
like, For a racing motorcycle, right? It has an engine and horsepower, but it has a gearbox and there's two gear ratios. So in certain conditions on the track, I know my machine, I know what gear I need to be in, so I know how to, over rev it or under rev it or do whatever. I know how it handles in the corner. There's a lot of communication going back, and it's also the way I communicate with the ground beneath it, because it's got some. So there's a lot of my senses that are being activated when you're riding this thing. It's like when I go horseback riding, although a horse is a living thing.
yeah. Now I could say,
And the horse can decide that it doesn't want to play ball. The
No.
horse can say, you know what, today, you ain't riding me, so get out of
I would say for the horse, yeah, you could, because it's a different personality of the horse.
It's a
Because,
living.
yeah, I could say relationship with that maybe, but for your motorcycle, Eric,
No, it's just, it's a tool, but there's levels.
different levels, I guess.
There's levels of your senses
Yeah.
that are activated that I don't get when I do my computer.
Okay, fair enough.
So what control mechanisms, this is where I really wanted to get you guys. So in each one of these cases, the theme, human being makes technology and AI, it gets bad things happen. So when you were watching those clips or thinking about something, what could they have had in place that would have prevented that? So they're all in the future, except for obviously Metropolis, but it was depicting the future, but just from the 1927 perception. So what did they fail to do institutionally to control the bad things? Anybody got any ideas on that?
What was that question?
Yeah, in those movies we saw where there's AI and robots and all that, what would they have done in terms of laws or institutions to prevent whatever bad thing that happened from happening? What could we have done?
Well,
different.
they could have made a institution where before any AI is released, it has to go to our guideline, our stipulations. We have to try it out. We have to test it. If it is worthy enough by our guidelines, then we'll release it to the public. Not just release it. That's what I
What did you
said.
say? Did you have something you wanted to add?
I was thinking maybe a psychologist.
Oh.
A lot of times in coding, we say, I have no feel anything, but when it comes to a certain person, it can be turned on. So
Oh.
it's like, I don't exactly into that, because the coding could say feelings or don't feel anything or something like that, but it coding can rewrite itself and say, I have feelings. Like in Megan,
Oh,
in the
okay.
coding, her computer was did the complete opposite.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's, I'm not entirely, there should be laws and rules for it, like tests, like several tests, but,
Boy.
I don't know.
So I didn't see Megan. So
Okay,
it's another one of bad things happen, right? So we got this fear, and usually in our own society, right? Because we put rules and laws and in place to moderate human behavior. Except there were the red lights, it doesn't work in these.
No.
There's no moderation.
Mm-mm.
People just run over.
I just run it, yeah.
And you know, it's funny, you gotta be careful if you drive in other cities, because some cities actually enforce the law on that. So if you're used to.
That's why you wear a paper
red
plate.
lights, yeah, you
That's
can.
why you use a paper plate, Eric.
You know.
Use a paper plate, Eric.
Then they take, you know, where.
No,
Yeah, that's all you are. But anyway, I'm just saying that, when we think about the institutions, you know, an iRobot, and as Isaac Asimov, he talked about the 3 laws. He felt that if we had 3 laws, and it was in the core program, you know, what is it, a robot will never harm a human, or robots must always obey humans or something, and a robot can never bring a human harm or allow through inaction a human to be harmed, and then a robot can protect its own existence except if it means harming a human or not obeying anybody. So that's a bad paraphrase, but you guys know what I'm talking about. In other words, there was a core program that all AI and robots were going to have, and that would prevent them from hurting human beings. But then in iRobot, that program broke down. And we would probably, I don't see anything in all the literature and all the, you know, programs I've watched where they're talking governing it. I don't see anything that comes close to a core program that all AI and all robots would have, a core program. Part of the reason is if we're going to use these things for military application, that is somewhat driving the technology. And right now, policy-wise, we don't let the kill decision, but that's a policy decision. And more the military saying we may have to allow robots to do that because the adversaries are. The bad guys are going to let the robots kill folks, so we have to let our robots.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to be at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
That's part of the.
Yeah.
So this idea of building a core program, it's not going anywhere. I'm getting, we're having a hard time getting consensus on what that core program. You guys got any ideas on the core program? I should make that a sign.
The core program by who exactly? Like by the company who created it? Or the
Now
government?
you asked the fundamental question. If we're going to have a, is it going to be something that the corporations do? Be
Government.
a government, or is it going to have to be like a treaty, a global treaty? Because if we come up with one in the United States, is it going to be different? And
It would have to be global.
Okay.
It would have to be global, Eric, because why would we want to put stipulations on ours when no one else is doing it?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it would have to be global.
Okay. Be interesting to see.
And then they're not gonna sign it, and then you're just wasting your time.
So
Big
these are
circle.
some fundamental questions. Well, so we've had, I don't like us to be too cynical.
To be what?
Too
Settle?
cynical. Because we've had some global treaties that have been amazingly well maintained.
Yes, for different items.
One is the